What's going on, everybody? We got Tom Macdonald, Sheeple, and my name is... All right, I've heard a lot about this one, and I say that so much, and I try to remind myself not to say it, but it happens. But I have heard a lot about this one, and I'm ready for it. And I kind of maybe I didn't overlook Riot. Maybe at the beginning, I wasn't expecting how good it was. But Riot, I think, is in my top 5, to be honest. But I've heard a lot about this one, so let's do it.
Humans been controlled since the day that they were civilized. The truth has been so heavily politicized. If you don't know who's controlling you and killing all the little guys, find out who you're not allowed to criticize. Black folks who were never ever actual slaves, fighting with white folks who ain't actual Nazis. Controlled by rich folks who use the news to make hate, while elite folks control other political parties.
One of the funniest things is, I don't remember who said it, but they were talking about the bill that I guess somewhat got approved in California for reparations for people who have never been slaves and taxes against people who have never owned slaves in a state that never allowed slaves. I believe that's what it was. It was like the ultimate reverse psychology bullshit, but it's just it's so relatable, and I'm kind of glad that it's not as big of an issue as I'm surprised it isn't, to be honest. But my dad's Mexican. He never owned slaves. My mom is first generation American. She didn't, so I would have to pay. The concept just doesn't make sense. And even if you take that all out of it, the people that would be getting the money, they're not they themselves had no involvement with slavery other than their ancestors, maybe. And that is something, that I think, I'm not saying it's been atoned for because it's terrible. We can all agree to that. But, there has been things done to try to, I wouldn't even say rectify, because that's not the case. I don't think stuff like that can be. But remind you, everyone comes from slaves. I don't know who said that, but it is true. It is a term that comes from white people being enslaved. Just saying. Anyway, it's just, we're at the point where no one agrees that, no one will say that it's okay. No one, maybe not no one, but the 99% of people agree that it was a terrible thing. And there's been a lot of things done to try to make up for it. But just giving money to people that didn't experience the thing that we're given money for, it just doesn't make sense. So not to get into crazy shit, but that'd be me getting reparations from Spain because the conquistadors killed the natives here and then had children with them, and then Mexicans, and then came down to me eventually, and I'm only half, but then I want reparations from Spain, the Spaniards, the terrible Spaniards. It wouldn't make sense. What, just cause it's 200 years before that, it doesn't matter? It doesn't make sense. It just, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, like, I don't even know how to argue it because it's like extremely common sense. And nobody, I don't want to be that guy that been like, I have black friends. But I've been in fire departments that were 90% black, and I've never heard one person say that, you know, should get reparations. And the topics came up. Politics are all over the fire department, trust me. But I don't. It's such a confusing thing because you would think it's common sense. I'll just leave it at that. I'm gonna hurt my head thinking about it. Jesus.
Folks who were never ever actual slaves, fighting with white folks who ain't actual Nazis, controlled by rich folks who use the news to make hate, while elite folks control other political parties. It's a big lie, trying to make you pick sides, trying to make you burn the cities down and kill each other. They got sick minds, big lies, deep on the police so that there's big crime. To take away our freedom, to restore order, they let die. Play with people, turn men into women, make the counterculture mainstream to mix up the system, change the pronouns. If gender is a spectrum, so is privilege. I know poor white folks and black celebrities with millions. They starve you with a lack of information and only give you facts through a branded corporation. Distort your worldview with an algorithm that...
And real quick, I don't know how I forgot to bring this point, but like systematic racism, right? That's what they said. A black man was the most powerful person in the world for 8 years. Depending on how you view the world and the elites and whatever. But for the most part, you know what I mean. So no, the argument defeats itself, but I've seen people try to defend it, but the argument falls apart as you talk about it. So it's frustrating. It really is. I'm still waiting on my Mexican superhero, but whatever.
Poor white folks and black celebrities play with people, turn men into women, make the counterculture mainstream to mix up the system, change the pronouns. If gender is a spectrum, so is privilege. I know poor white folks and black celebrities with millions. They starve you with a lack of information and only give you facts through a branded corporation. Distort your worldview with an algorithm that changes based on propaganda curated for your engagement. We can't be...
Hold on, before we get into the chorus, that is so true. That's why established media or mainstream media, CNN is tanking. MSNBC is tanking. Some of these liberal podcasts are tanking because, and you can't say I'm biased because I'm about to make a point here. So they're tanking because they very clearly lied the entire time about certain things within the election, and even just as of Monday, I don't know what this day is that is coming out, but Joe Biden met with Donald Trump. They shook hands, smiled. It looks like the happiest Joe Biden's ever been. And if you really felt like he was Hitler, he was a threat to democracy, would you be that? Would you be shaking his hand? Would you be saying we're going to have a peaceful transfer of power? No. If you actually thought it was Hitler, no, you wouldn't. We're probably demonetized now, but it's okay. It's okay for this one because it just proves all that was just bullshit political theatrics. And that's not okay. That shit is not okay. And I wish more people were upset about it because, like, dude, Hitler's one of the worst people in history. And you compare him to this guy that you don't like just because you don't like him. It is absolutely insane to me, but I will give credit to one, which I'll give credit to. There's a channel, the Young Turks, which I don't like. Cenk Uygur, if you know what the channel is, you know what I'm talking about. I hate Cenk Uygur. I appreciate how much he believes what he's saying, I'll say that. I love passion. And Anna Kasparian, she's on the verge of coming over to the right side of the aisle. And I think she's attractive but that's not what we're talking about. But they're at least objective to both sides. They're obviously harsher toward the right side of the aisle, but at least they criticize their own. More so because they're progressives, but and anti-elites. But they attack their own too, and theirs has went up. So it just proves that honest media, if you just tell the news how it is, and if you're equal on both sides, you'll be fine. But these people that were saying threat to democracy, Hitler, blah, 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 they are tanking. And I do not feel bad for them at all. It's just, I don't know why I went on this tangent, but it just bothers me that these millionaires lose 10,000 subscribers and they make a whole podcast complaining about it, ringing the bell, starting a fire, saying that, hey, this, our voice is gonna be gone, blah 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 blah. And these are millionaires, by the way, millionaires that do not share their money the way they think the government should, and they're just flipping shit over 5,000, 10,000 subscribers. It's the hypocrisy is showing so much right now. I can't, you know what? Because I haven't been able to talk about it too much. And that's why I want to vent. All right, sorry. I vented. We're on a Tom Macdonald video. Let's go. Sorry, y'all.
Make the counterculture mainstream to mix up the system. Change the pronouns. If gender is a spectrum, so is privilege. I know poor white folks and black celebrities with millions. They starve you with a lack of information and only give you facts to a branded corporation. Distort your worldview with an algorithm that changes based on propaganda curated for your engagement. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Glued to screens, just part of the machine. Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? My sheep. Nothing's what it seems. Hollywood been writing.
I'll just be honest with you right now. I was concerned with how he was gonna make Sheeple into like a hook, and I thought he was doing it the way he did there, where he said sheep and then it was which was the ul, and I was like, okay, that could work. And then Sheeple, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of that part, because it's just kind of, the message is great. I love everything except for that part, because it's just like, you know those words that just, I know I'm gonna get shit for it, but y'all know I'm gonna tell the truth anyway. The words, there's just certain words that just sound corny. Sheeple's one of them. It just does. As soon as like I saw people saying like, oh, this is a great song, I was like, Sheeple. I thought it was gonna be a different song. But also when people say the vibes, and I do it too, and I disgust myself when I say it. That gives me the ick. It just I don't know. It just doesn't work. Like, it'd be the same thing if like a chorus had like ick was the main portion of it. That's just kind of how I feel about it. Maybe I'll change, but I wish he would have done something with how he did it in the first part. Like, hold on.
On the same team, but y'all are sheep. Some propaganda curated for your engagement. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep.
Like that. And I know he said y'all are sheep, and it was, oh, but if they did it like the, oh. I don't know why I'm criticizing a man with 5 million whatever subscribers, but I'm just saying, me personally. That's what I thought he was going to do, but then Sheeple, I don't know. I just don't like it personally. Y'all love it. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Glued to screens, just part of the machine. rotting your brain, controlling your mouth. You say lit, fleet, bet, cap, they trying to dumb you down. They endorse whatever narrative is popular to shout and use minorities and...
Hold on, say what?
Hollywood been rotting your brain, controlling your mouth. You say lit, fleet, bet, cap, they trying to dumb you down.
Oh, lit, fleet, cap. Okay, my bad. I didn't. That was quick. I wasn't ready for it. Okay.
Endorse whatever narrative is popular to shout and use minorities in movies for diversity clout. Two sides on the spectrum, but ain't none of them honest. Took the red pill and the blue pill, spit them both in the garbage. Being woke used to mean you understood you're a target, and now it's having two good legs and never taking a step forward. If you agree, it's free speech. Disagree, it's hate speech. Erase it if it came from anywhere except the mainstream. Trump supporters labeled as the racist, but that can't be. Lincoln was Republican, and that's who ended slavery. Science been politicized, it's easy to see.
Let's go cut down some shit. Yeah. But you know what? It doesn't even matter that that's true. People just ignore it. And that's why I almost stopped. I've tried to stop arguing with people because they don't care about the truths that don't apply to their side. Like literally, if you I had this happen recently. You give them facts, and and thank God I knew where I got the facts from, or the stats from, and you'll be like, oh, I got them from here, and they'll be like, of course you got them from there. And it's like, are you fucking insane? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, like, arguing. It just you could tell how this last week has fried my mind. It's like, dude, it really doesn't matter with some people. You could give them all the facts in the world. They'll question your facts. You can give them proof about the facts, and they'll say, oh, of course, those facts are leaning toward that side. So, of course. And it's just, so what was the point of asking me where I got it from? It's just, oh, man, this is a frustrating time, which is, I'm so happy. I'm not happy that people are losing their jobs, but they're millionaires, so they'll be okay. But, like, that MSNBC is going down the drain. They're a bunch of race baiters, race hustlers that only want to divide. Literally only want to divide. Where else do you hear people saying, racist, misogynist, bigots, transphobes? Where else do you hear it? You don't hear it on the right side, except when Joy Reid is talking, because she is a racist. And I hope she gets fired. But second rant over.
A mask became a symbol of which mainstream. Trump supporters labeled as the racist, but that can't be. Lincoln was Republican, and that's who ended slavery. Science been politicized, it's easy to see. A mask became a symbol of which side you believe. But you'll never cure a sickness till you cure the greed, because the problem with our natural immunity is it's free. Society is broken, want you locked inside a cubicle, addicted to pornography, liquor, and pharmaceuticals. Tell you that you're fat and poor and you were never beautiful, then tweet how much they love you when they hear about your funeral. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue discrimination.
That line is hard. Tweet about how much they love you at your funeral. Is that what he said?
Hear about your funeral. It's broke. You want you locked inside a cubicle, addicted to pornography, liquor, and pharmaceuticals. Tell you that you're fat and poor and you were never beautiful, then tweet how much they love you when they hear about your funeral.
That is so straight to the point and so perfect, dude. So perfect. Because, dude, what is so... Okay, about to start a third rant. What's so crazy, dude, is on any given weekend in Chicago, there can be from 20 to 50 deaths. Right? Which goes unnoticed. by national media. Somebody dies and it has anything to do with a cop. And the investigation hasn't been done. Nothing. They get the stat and they run with it. And I'm not saying all of it's justified. I don't know about a lot of them. A lot of them are. A lot of them aren't. It just I'm not knowledgeable enough to speak on everything. But I'm just saying the fact that there's one, they blow it up without knowing the facts, and then there's 20 to 50 in one city. They don't talk about it ever. When have you heard them talk about crime in Chicago? Except when someone else brings it up towards them as like a talking point. Never. So it's only when there's a tragedy that they bring these things up and they prop it up as a talking point and an advantage over people because it plays to the feelings, and it does. Like, immediately whenever there's a fatality with an arrest or police involved, and especially when there's no weapon involved, because that usually comes out, immediately you're just like, I think if you're a normal person, like immediately like, oh, he didn't have a weapon, like what the. And then you hear about all the other things and you're like, okay, well, that makes sense. But I'm just saying, before all that comes out, you're just like, it just hits you. So immediately your emotions go to like, that's not fair, blah, blah, blah. But then all these other things happen where it's proven, and it's proven on a weekly basis, and they don't talk about it at all. What I'm trying to say is I love that line. Rant 3 is over. Okay.
We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue to screens just part of the machine. Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? My sheep. Nothing's what it seems. If they can't convince you, they confuse you. They want you dumb and dead. They divided you by race, religion, income, and sex. Made everybody right and left. The hatred got so intense. If the other side likes oxygen, you'll put a bag on your head. And the conspiracy theories labeled as misinformation is just a terrifying truth that scares the hell out the nation. The system treating you like trash and you got rifles to aim with. Just imagine how they'll treat you when your guns get confiscated. George Orwell, 1984 was his last lecture. George called them thought police. Now we call them fact checkers. Government surveillance trying to catch you. They don't ask questions. Mass incarceration.
I love that Elon. I see a lot of people now are downplaying the effect that Elon and Joe Rogan was kind of last minute, so I can see the criticism on that, but the effect that both of them had, don't. Any young man in America, for the most part, I would think, except for hardcore liberals, can look up to Elon Musk and just, you hear him talk and he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Like, we respect that shit. Like, we just do. Someone who knows what they're talking about, and they'll look at you like, when you try to criticize them, and be like, fuck you. Yeah, I'm right. Like, I'm smarter than you. Like, you can respect that shit. And Joe Rogan is he's just the bro's bro. And he's not even a Republican. He isn't. He just is against all the woke stuff. And it's just, I really hope people don't discredit them as much as I think I've been seeing. Maybe it's just in my circle, but that can't go unnoticed. Like, that was so huge. But I don't know why I want to talk about that, but I feel like people are discrediting them. And I love that Doge is coming back.
Get confiscated. George Orwell, 1984 was his last lecture. George called them thought police. Now we call them fact checkers. Government surveillance trying to catch you. They don't ask questions. Mass incarceration equals capital for cash investors. The system isn't broke, it's working fine. Oppressive and chaotic is how it was designed. They say if we ain't doing nothing wrong, there's nothing to hide. While their agenda and intelligence completely classified. They don't teach you rights in school, you never learn them at all. Cause they're easy to remove if you don't know what they are. The only people you can rule are the criminal ones. So they force you into corners till you're breaking the law. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue screens just part of the machine.
I really wish they would have went with that as the hook. I know I said it already, but it just, man, I wish they did. Because the next part, I just don't like, if I'm just being honest.
Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? My sheep. Nothing's what it seems.
Oh, Jared Potter back at it again? Oh, that was not seductive, Tom. That was the zombie clone Tom. I like the song overall, to be honest. I wish they leaned into the sheep and then but they actually pronounced the sheeple. I thought that was so clever when I heard it the first time. I was wondering how they were gonna fit this in, and I don't know. It just didn't work for me. If it did for you, that's great. I thought the message was amazing. It's spot on, especially right after the election. Spot the fuck on. Still, at this day, we're getting better. We're getting better. And before, I'll just say it now so people can say I didn't say it. Elon and Vivek, I think is amazing for Doge. I'm talking about the appointment so far. Tulsi, amazing pick. Huckabee, I think is amazing. Who else? I'm missing. Who's the AG? Hats. I can't think of his name right now. Congressman. I can't think of it right now. I like his personality. I like his attitude, but he'll never get approved. I'll just say that right now. He will not. And mark my words, y'all can disagree, but I guarantee it. And I think Trump knows that too, because he has to throw some outrageous one out there so that the rest can get through, I think, just to make it look fair. I'm just saying. I'm not a political mind, but maybe I am. But anyway, thank y'all. Y'all are the best subscribers. Y'all are awesome. Thank y'all for bearing with me through these past couple days. This might be way on and I'm on track now, but you know what I mean. But I'm back, baby. And if I miss 1 or 2 days, don't worry about me. I'm fine. I have a life. I'm a dad. I work and I mow the lawn and wash dishes, wash clothes, all that good shit, and do this. So if I take some time off, don't worry about me. I appreciate the messages, but I'm all good. But anyway, y'all are the best. If you're not subscribed, do it now. Do it! And stay safe. Take care. Love y'all. Peace!